Welcome everybody to 48 Talk, episode 166. Hey, we're back, guys and
Oh
gals.
boy. Hey.
It's been a while, isn't it?
Whew.
Been a minute.
A
About
hot minute.
2 months worth of minutes. How have you guys been?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sums up 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Oh boy.
Ay, ay,
2020
ay.
has been like a kick in the teeth. And then after we've been down on the ground with our teeth in a puddle of blood, it's somebody taking a sledgehammer and cracking our spines.
Oh,
and
great.
then we're trying to get up and they're kicking us in our balls now. So yeah, it's been fun.
And then you want to get your
Something
teeth
like
fixed
that.
at the dentist, but you can't get an appointment since it's closed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Not with the dentist. No. Oh.
Oh my
Being able
god.
to go out.
So, 2 months. What have we missed in the, what this show is usually about? The AKB48 group or even idol related?
I've been so much out of it. I actually don't have a clue, to be quite honest. It's more like on the personal level, I was fighting off a depression myself, so I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to get that out of my system, so I've been busy doing that
Right.
the past 2 months. So I haven't followed the group at much. So I'm a bit on a blank canvas at the moment.
Well, I would say what I've seen is not that much. I just focus more on like you said, DX on other situations currently in the world, and I think only Okaranana involves. That's more what I've been paying attention to, and we get into it later. They yesterday released a new song, especially for the COVID-19 situation, so we can talk about
Yeah.
that. But other than that, yeah, my interest is just not there. But to be fair, on their side, they can't do any of their normal activities, nor have they been growing as well. So it's tough. It's really a tough moment to actually do this. But I'm happy that we are gathered here after these 2 months and just to talk about how things are. How about you, Colin?
So I have been keeping track at a okay level, I would say.
Mhm.
I do have. So for me, to be honest with everyone, for the most part, I've been doing regular as how much regular I can be.
Mhm.
I have overall, on average, maybe an hour or two more time on my hands. That's it. I still work, still do stuff that I would do normally. I'm a homebody, so being at home is like, okay,
Well, second nature, pretty
Okay.
much. Then.
yeah, it's your first nature. I would actually
Oh, first nature,
say.
actually. Okay, gotcha.
To a degree, like for the most part,
Okay.
as long as I can be outside in the garden, that's enough for me.
Mm.
And like grocery shopping, that's enough for me. But yeah, I've been keeping track on a general level what's been happening, enough that I can give some thoughts for the people that are interested in thoughts, by either myself or by the guys, because we can all give interesting thoughts or talks.
Hey.
Okay, we need to get a bit better back into jokes.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
it's been a while, so we're a bit rusty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
We're a
rusty.
bit rusty.
We're a bit rusty. So but I am very happy to be back with all you guys. I'm also be happy to do this and to hear what people have been saying. What their thoughts are, or just want to say something in general.
Hey.
Very good then. How about you, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, the idol world here really changed drastically. It's literally the idol experience has moved online. All of the groups now have opened up like their own shops online. They're doing online lives. Just yesterday, Mary Baden had an online live that we streamed. Actually the guy who was streaming it for us was the director for Common Egix for
Oh, nice.
NGT.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually wants to work with me to do something for foreign fans. I don't know what, but I have a meeting with him coming up. But yeah, he was super cool. But he helped us out the other day because Daisuke that's all his like AKB buddies. And so like we did that, but the whole idol world kind of stopped having lives. Like there's still live events, but it's very few and far between. There's one on Thursday with Aphrodite, which I'm gonna be staff for, which I'm really excited about. Hanako-san, she asked me to go to one of her events, but I don't think there's fans there. So I was like, well, how are you gonna do your thing? You know, because at the end of her live, she just throws food and stuff on it, and she's like, you will be my victim. She's like, so I'm gonna stand there while she basically just pukes on me like food and garbage. That'll be fun.
Normal.
Platonic, I don't care. Yeah, it's normal. But it's like overall, everything's come to like a halt here on that end. However, recently Japan's kind of opened back up. I've been, you walk around now, Shibuya actually looks normal for the most part. Every store is kind of open. Tsutaya finally open, and the famous crosswalk that's been closed forever. It's so weird to go by that place and it's not open, but now it is. The only thing that's missing are tourists, which is not a bad thing per se, because I'm not really complaining about that. But it is kind of weird to think how many tourists are actually here, because I do feel their lack here, because they're pretty much nobody. Like I feel even more like a foreigner here than I ever did, because it's like
You stand out
I don't
more.
really I don't see people that don't look Japanese here. It's
exactly.
very strange. Yeah. Other than that, it's for me, Idol Underworld kind of business is slowed to a complete halt because I can't ship anything. Japan Post basically shuttered their doors to almost all the countries in the world. Everything's been massively delayed. Although again, that's coming back too. They just opened up the doors to like Denmark and Sweden yesterday. So that's cool. That's some. I mean, I actually have customers in those places. So
that's good.
I shipped out my first batch of packages today that I haven't shipped out in 2 months.
Oh wow!
So, damn.
I have like 300 packages here just waiting to be shipped. But the good thing is my loyal followers at Idol Underworld have been nothing short of amazing as far as being patient, and they still they were still buying. I'll still do checky sellouts. Mary Bad one day all three members sold out all their checky.
Oh, nice.
Somebody went crazy. So like there is some stuff, but it's like stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's been rough on me financially, because it's like I'm struggling here in that sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I didn't get a chance to say this. I've been working on my documentary basically. My documentary was supposed to be 3 hours. It's now about 9 hours.
Oh wow!
A little bit.
It's not a movie anymore. It's a docu-series.
I can imagine.
We've been working on it since March, me and my editor, and it's coming along extremely well. We have a rough draft finish date by July 10th, which I think we can do. We're almost there. I recently, for example, I finished Benny's story from Evandan, and I met with Benny a couple weeks ago, and I showed her the story, and she was deeply overwhelmed. So I thought, oh, I did a good job. But I'm telling you what, editing documentaries sucks.
Yep. Post-production sucks. Post-production sucks.
It sucks because I'm a first-time filmmaker, so I thought I was doing a great job. I did not do a great job. I did a horrible job. And then on top of that, like, I was learning how to use my camera on this entire documentary. You know?
Yeah, you said
like,
before, yeah.
Yeah, focusing is not easy because I don't do auto, and so I had to learn that. So by the end of the doc, I'm like, yeah, no problem. But there's so many shots I missed that I want to put in this, and then also you have to film a lot of B-roll. You know what I mean? Like all when you go to a show, you should film like the lights, the stage. I did that sparingly at the beginning. Like towards the end, I started to get it. My poor editor has had to take this little bit and stretch it into this much.
Oh wow!
And then I was trying to get permission from AKB to show some stuff about like Mariko Shinoda, because Chihiro was a huge Mariko Shinoda Oshi, and of course they said no, but they did allow me to show their products, so that was cool. It was like a cool concession, but it's been hard getting permissions for things. Because I didn't realize how hard that is. Now technically I don't need it. It's a documentary. There's something called fair use. I could literally show a bunch of stuff as long as I'm not overdoing it. Like I can't show heavy rotations entire MV.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I showed 3 to 5 seconds of it. They can't say nothing. I mean, if they want to give me a problem, they can fight me in court, but I don't think they got the money now.
Oh wow.
Internet money, Bitcoin.
Hey.
So doing the documentary has been crazy. I actually wanted to ask you guys live, if it's cool, what you guys think about some titles.
Okay.
And because I've been trying to think of a title, because now we're working on a trailer for the doc, because now it's finally we have enough edited footage we can do a trailer. And I came up with a couple different titles. Please let me know your honest thoughts. I'm not gonna get offended if you're like that sucks. And also anybody watching, feel free to leave in the comments what you guys think, because I'm all about crowd thinking. I've shared some of this to the Mary Beth members last night and today, and they like some of it, but they're pretty brutal. So I don't want to repeat what they said. But okay. So the first one I came up with is called Mono no Oware. Mono no Oware, which is the concept of impermanence and transient nature. Idols are very transient. They're here today, gone today. So I thought that was kind of like this cool, like Zen title, but I don't know if it summarizes my whole doc. My doc is basically about the idol experience. You know, like I show you producers, I show you staff, the idols. You know, I mean I've gotten into everything except for the fans, because I didn't really want to make it fan focused.
Okay.
So like Mono no Oware was my first title, and then I have 2 more or 4 more. Sorry, but they're easy. The second one is Tonbo. Tonbo is Japanese for dragonfly.
Okay.
And like the girls, again, it's this idea of impermanence. Like dragonflies are here today, gone today. Like they live very short lives, I guess, but they're super strong. But they just do whatever they want. But like, if you study dragonflies, they almost sound to me like idols. So I thought Tombo would be a cool name. I don't know if that would translate well. The other one is just very simple, Chica. That's the under idol. That's just Chica, the story of idol. You know, but I thought too simple. Also, Chica has a negative connotation, so not a lot of idols like to be called Chica, and it's kind of like when they refer to fans that come to shows, they just call them otaku. They don't even call them fans. It's like all the otaku come to our show, but it's become a term of endearment. So Chica is kind of transitioning to okay, but there's still a bit of like a, you know,
still has a bit of a sounds still a bit negative, Chica. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
the
say
last title, right? Exactly. The last title I have, and again, I'm still thinking of titles. There's nothing settled. The last title I just came out with it today. I've been running through it on my mind all day. It's sticking. This one the Mary Beth members seem to like. A couple of them did. It's The Flowers of Passion.
The last one is the best.
So,
yeah, that makes the
thank
most
you.
sense. That makes the most sense of all the titles, I would say, because the first one didn't
Go ahead.
cover the synopsis of your documentary that well. If it's
True.
all about the experience and such, you can have a title that spells end basically, because it doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Right.
Tondo is a bit of a title you have to think way too much, especially if you're not into dragonflies and such.
Okay.
So that doesn't work
Okay.
either. So of all the titles all the tentative titles you've mentioned, I would say go with the last one for now, because it makes the most sense for
Right.
name wise, and it covers the documentary the most, I would say. So that's my thoughts on it.
And the Japanese translates well to it. It's like Jonetsu no Hana.
Yeah.
So Jonetsu is like passion,
I know.
Hana's flower. No is the particle that denotes
Yeah, I know.
it's passion with
Yeah,
flowers.
exactly.
Yeah.
I
So
would go for
Jonetsu
the
no
last one.
Hana,
Yeah,
I don't know. It kind of has a nice ring, and like the flowers of passion. It's like, yeah, it kind of denotes like all these different girls and people that are in this. The one thing they all have that I notice is their passion.
Exactly.
Like they're so passionate. So I don't know. So that's the one that's sticking right now. But I don't know. Do you guys, Colin, Robin, anything? Do you guys feel anything for those, or what are your thoughts?
I agree with DX. The last one is the best.
Okay.
It's the easiest, because if you have to think too much about the title, then it's not working too well. It needs to be easy.
Very good. Very
Well,
good.
easy, but still all telling. And I think the last one is my favorite. I still feel I still feel there should be something else, but I don't know what.
Okay.
But
Right. Yeah. That's me too. Always.
Yeah. The one extra word maybe to really put more emphasis on it, but I don't know. I don't know which one it would be. But it's so far a pretty nice title. I like it.
Exactly. The out of the 5, the last one has the nice ring to it, since then you can speak it out and you can actually search for a title and feel like you're searching for something you can relate to. So what Colin said, I think it needs something more, so you can emphasize on that title alone, but it is the right direction. And well, with Japanese titles, they always do like a lot of big titles, but in parts.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
So I think you need 1 or 2 more parts to this title, but you found
Like,
one part.
Right, the Flowers of Passion, and then like how 9 idols follow their dreams and then suddenly cry because they don't. Yeah. Like a whole mini story, like No Flower Without Rain's title.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I would think the same thing. That's very good. That's very good, though. Okay, all right. I really appreciate the comments. And again, anyone watching, please leave your own or help us out if you. What else? I mean, I'm all for big titles too because Japanese will love that. Okay, cool. It's interesting because I bring it up because I was watching the documentary on Netflix that was just put on for B&K.
Segway!
Oh god, that came back.
We're trying to get into the rhythm of it, so. It's Robin with crazy segs. He's always like,
I got nothing right now.
But, everybody's kind of like that, yeah. But, yeah, like, I was gonna say that documentary now I'm watching in like a totally different way than had I not been doing my own documentary in terms of like editing, production value. What, you guys have seen it, or you guys haven't seen it yet, or
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll take a look at it later, I would say. So
I would say watch. I would say in terms of, it's a discussion about like first and second gen, and they're all the girls' feelings about the disparity between them. I would say there's also some interesting moments, like the girls take an acting class, and so the girls are all acting, and that was fascinating to watch. I felt it fit the Thai culture very well, if I could say that, as a white person that isn't Thai. But I feel like from what I know of Thai culture, it felt like it tapped into the emotions that maybe you don't necessarily see, I guess, up front. I don't know if I'm making sense. Sorry, but it was interesting. And then of course the Sasenkyo, they covered the that, but they did have a few. The only problem is it was so interview heavy. Like I felt like I was watching an hour and a half of just interviews, and there was less of other stuff. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The music was great. They had some really, really good emotional background music. There were a couple times I teared up, like, because the girls were tearing up, and like I got like a little overwhelmed because I could sense that they were being so sincere on the camera, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
But then I also saw, like, it's interesting that they became idols. One girl, she was talking about how, like, on social media, somebody was like basically bashing her about her being an idol. She like was looking at the camera like, you got something to say? She's like, you're basically taking my experience and making it not worth it. She's like, you don't know how wrong that is, how much that hurt. And I was like, wow, that was power. It was extremely powerful to see. Chaprang surprisingly was not in it that much. Like, she was very reserved. Is that how she normally is? Would you say?
I felt the same with her in the first one. It's like she wasn't in it heavily. More, she was also there as part of the cast, but not the main star.
She's always like the type that validates the other thoughts. Since
she's more in the background, I would say. She's more in the background during the documentary.
So interesting. Because here's the thing, and it's not a spoiler. We know who won that Sasenkyo, right? Like, you guys know. So so Chaprang won. But she had this moment at the mic where I want to say it's the mic. Yeah, it was the mic when, she turned her back to the crowd and she looked at the girls and she was like, you guys, are you happy for me?
I remember
and
that,
like,
yeah.
The girls started one by one coming down and hugging. I was like, oh my God. Because she was more worried about their feelings of loving her than the fans. That's something a Japanese girl I think would never do. Like she would feel it, but she would keep it here. And
Yeah.
so I got to see the huge difference between Thai culture and Japanese culture. And yet somehow the brilliance of BNK is they keep the Japanese culture intact as well. Like their outfits were very Japanese. Some of the way they were acting was very Japanese centric, which I thought was great. But they also were feisty, and they by the end of the doc, all of them were complaining about everything, which was funny. They started off the doc like kind of cool, but then as it became more and more aware that some of these girls weren't going to get into this is the Senpatsu, they started being like,
Oh yeah.
like, I don't care. It's like, yeah, whatever. And I thought, okay, but that's a normal reaction. And then that moment with Chiprang at the end though was just like, oh my god. It was emotionally devastating. Because that's probably what Achan felt. That's probably what Yuko felt. Remember how they talked about, when you're the zero position, you're not looking at anybody in front of you.
Nope.
That's one of the
Exactly.
most powerful statements you can make as an idol. Because I was at the stage yesterday, Mary Beden, on that stage, there's the zero position. It's right there. It's a zero. And I was looking at it, I'm like, wow. Like, I feel like I'm in the AKB doc, So I don't know. What did you guys think about the first doc? Did you get that kind of, because I haven't seen it. So, like, just based on what I said, you found the
It's
same?
been a while, so.
No, actually, the first doc was more centered about the girls and the sacrifices they had to make to become an idol, pretty much. So it's not more about the BIK group itself. It was mainly focused on the girls themselves, their private lives, and what they did before becoming part of BNK48.
Yeah.
And if it, for example, Chaprang, before joining BNK48, actually had a boyfriend, which she broke off to become an idol in BNK48. And so that documentary focuses more on the girls and their lives prior to BNK48, and especially the sacrifices they have to make as well. And that's what the first documentary mainly is about.
Sounds like it's relatively similar in the second one. Just the girls telling their story from their perspective, but still having somewhat of a coherent narrative. With I haven't seen it, so I can't make. But it sounds like, even though it's a different director, it seems like it still is somewhat the same. Just focusing on what happened after the Susankyo, the first one, because the first documentary was about from their start till just before the Susankyo.
Yeah.
So the second one seems like
bit of
continuing where it left off. Yeah, so that sounds same. It sounds similar to what the first one was, even though it's a different person. But that's good.
Yeah, the second doc was like it started before the Susankyo, got all the girls' feelings, went into the prelims. They did the big announcement, the handshake for the second prelim announcement. You got to see all the girls' reactions, practicing for the Susankyo concert, and then the Susankyo, and then the post Susankyo. But it wasn't the problem with the doc, and not that it's a problem, because again, I'm very sympathetic to people that make films now. I'm more than I ever was, so I feel terrible about criticizing anyway. It is hard work, harder than I ever thought imaginable. It really, empathy really is the key to life, I swear to God, because now I feel very empathic. But I will say the documentary felt very distant. It didn't feel like I got into some of these girls' lives as much, because again, it was interview, slow motion, dramatic B-roll, interview, some little bit of behind the scenes stuff. And it just kind of repeated that process. I didn't actually get to know the girls. Like, I got to know their feelings about all the stuff, but it's like I kind of have to already assume who they were, which that's fine. But it's like I just didn't get a sense of them. It's like you want to show me, for example, like Chiprang and her being back and like her like coolness that she had, like show her like that. Give me some scenes like that to kind of emphasize what she's talking about. They didn't necessarily do that, but that's hard. That's hard to do. So I understand why they did it. The interesting thing about them is I would think the documentarians, they would have had full access, because I mean, AKB doesn't do anything. I think even with their sister groups, and their the foreign groups or whatever, I would think they'd have to sign off on everything, but that also means that they would get permission for everything. I felt like this didn't have permission on things. I felt like this was more like, hey, let's just film the experience and we'll try to make a doc out of it, as opposed to let's make a real story here. And for example, like the music, like there was barely any AKB songs that BNK has done. I mean, every once in a while, like one girl did an acapella from Koi Zero Fortune Cookie, but they didn't even show her singing it on the screen. It was like an interview was going on and there was some B-roll and some girl somewhere was singing it. I don't know who. And I'm like, that's so weird. And they had very, very little AKB stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, because, I've tried to get stuff from AKB for my doc. Maybe they had the same problem. Maybe AKB was like, no. And when I say AKB, I mean AKS. Okay. So.
Well, AKS doesn't exist anymore, so.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
They're splintered, yeah. So there's that whole thing as well, which I can talk about. But I would say, like, as far as this documentary goes, it was a little step back. I mean, production wise, I mean, it's shot like a documentary, like in 2019, 2020, like, slow mo shots, really good camera quality, great background music, all stuff my doc doesn't really have because it was just me with my camera, just, running and gunning. But that's okay because, the only thing, there was like missteps in that sense. Also too, like when they were going into the Susenkyo, the final 3, I think the announcer like, and now for the final 3, and then they skipped to music, who I think was number 2.
Yeah, she was 2.
And so I was like, well, what happened to the 3rd one? Like, it was just weird to go from, that was a weird cut that really confused me. Go ahead.
Colin, I think she was 3, right?
Janice was 2nd last year. And I think music was 3rd, so maybe...
I'm not sure. I'm not sure myself, actually. I thought she was 2nd, but...
Janice 2nd sounds, that it was... Right, wait,
I'll take a quick look.
I have it on already. It was Chaperone 1, Janice 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Music was 3rd, mobile was 4th, so yeah.
Okay, so they were right to do that transition, but it was weird. They went from music then to Chaperone. They didn't show Janice.
Oh.
And I was like... That's weird, like, because they only showed 2, they didn't show 3 when they said that. So that was I was like questioning that, like, why wouldn't you show us the last 3? Especially because Janice wasn't in it all that much either, which was interesting too. So maybe they had some issue there because I can understand that. Like, I've been running into a lot of that with my stuff as far as like who can be in it, how much, so on. Like, it's been much more complicated than I thought it would be. Also, I haven't seen people in so long since I shot this doc that I couldn't even use a lot of the stuff I had. So, and people have gone on. Like, there's a group called Melon Batake I filmed, and their leader left. Like, she's not in the group anymore, so I can't use any of their footage, their interview, their live, nothing, because it would just be weird. It'd be totally outdated.
Yeah.
So, and Necroma, of course, I had all Necroma, but well, they're not. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, so it's like I just I thought it was very fascinating though, and it was still touching. It was our girls. BNK is just, they're unbelievable. Their producer, the bald guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a crazy name. He's
Tom.
Interesting.
Tom or Job. One of those 2.
Yeah,
that guy looks like a baller, man. He looks amazing. He's just got that swag to him, and I like him.
He's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone. I was like, oh yeah, that happened because I wrote it down somewhere. I can't even remember the exact date.
Some controversy that we pretty much needed in 2020, of course.
Yeah, their management, Tom and Job. Job is who is bald. He appeared in like many of the BNK MVs. They're out immediately. I can't remember. That's like one thing. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that happened. But yeah, he's not around anymore because of controversy.
Do you know what kind of controversy?
I need to read upon that again because
there were some allegations, some shady business behind it. You know how it is in idol worlds.
Oh, I certainly do. Yeah, well, I was gonna say I just called him a baller. Maybe that was more true than I realized. So that's kind of, he just looks, I don't know, he just looked like the type, well, whatever. But I was, he was, Chaprang really stuck out to me too. that girl is 30 times more attractive than I think people realize. Just the way she carries herself. She's got a great face. Like, that face is golden, you know?
I still follow her on Instagram, and the way she portrays herself is very intense. But yes, she looks
Yeah.
up to a certain person that is
Yep,
Myoshi, so that's
exactly.
intense as well. So it's no wonder that you have that look.
Yeah, she's intense.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit, if it's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm done.
So, I said at the start that I don't follow as much. I've learned for these past couple of months that following idols, or formerly idols, on Instagram, especially Instagram, but Twitter as well, is to me so much more interesting, since they are not limited to what they should say or what they're about to say. And like I can name a few examples, but if I look at Paruru, for instance, how she's doing with her YouTube channel, and it's so much more fun, lots more smiling. If I look at some Keikizaki members, you have now Oda Nana and Suzumoto Miyu hanging out together with well, forget her name right now. Like, so many names to it. No, not Imaizumi Yui. The one that was also like very good in Keikizaka before she left. I think it's another Shinoda or something.
Oh, Shida Manaka.
Yeah. So
my she in there.
Yeah,
they are hanging out, and they're posting a lot more, and they're a lot more happier. And because I see that so much, I'm like, just do this then. If it makes you a lot more happier, then you don't need to be in this entertainment business. I think being an individual is nowadays maybe more preferable than trying to be in something that is just not making you happy. It's so much more harder to do.
To be quite honest, though, reason for that could be is on a personal YouTube channel or Instagram or Twitter. They can be more free in what they post. They're not limited to what management say they post. What corporate says they should post. It's more like they can do whatever they want, pretty much.
Yeah, and
I think that natural feeling resonates to fans a lot more than being stuck in a corporate rut, I would say. So.
For God's sakes, I'm just looking right now at the Instagram, and I'm seeing Harupi, Karama Haruka, and she's been so much better.
She seems so much better since she is out of HKT. It's not even funny at this point. She looks about 20 times, 30 times as better as she was during her HKT days. Like, what happened? What?
Yeah, that's the thing. She's free.
Yeah.
Shackles are off, so now she feels probably, of course I can't know, but seems more happy with where she is now, elevated in life.
She still hangs out with HKT members as well, so it's more like she has the best of both worlds, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, being an idol in an idol group is not easy, and it is a lot of work. And if you are managed by a management company that is pretty much controlling your life, that's not easy. If you have an agency that represents you, that's not easy, and definitely can make things very difficult. So I totally sympathize. I've seen it firsthand with many idols here. But I also feel there is definitely something to be said when an idol is like, yeah, I'm free, and they can literally do what they want when they want, and that's got to be a good feeling for anyone,
Exactly.
But the trade-off is you're not famous anymore in that sense. You don't have opportunities to play for people. So the question then becomes like, what really was your desire? Because some people think, entertainment, I want to be a performer, I want to be on stage. They get on there, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm stuck. And so when they finally leave, of course they're happy. I think Harupi might have been in that situation. I can't speak for her, but like you said, DX, that girl did a 490-degree turn in her life. Went through everything, but I can guarantee the root of it was being in HKT in that competition, being in Sakuratan's shadow all the time, and then just realizing maybe this isn't for me, And she was kind of a bigger girl at one point too in HKT, and weight is kind of an issue in idol, and there is a reason why a lot of the idols aren't plump, I guess, and that's not an easy thing to be around some of those skinny girls, and like you're seeing that, and then look what happened to Harupi because of that, you know. And then she did this huge change in her life. Now she's healthy, you know, she has a healthy weight, you know, muscle, she's got muscle tone on her, and she just, all of her Instagram stuff, she's like, yeah, I'm living life, she's balling. Like
So
big
yeah.
time.
that's my question then, and this may shock you. This question, it's like, is the whole idol system an outdated system?
Interesting. Why in what sense?
Well, not specifically this year, but maybe because of currently what's happening, that the whole world is changing on how things are valued, or people should not be held back, and they should speak out more about what's troubling them, and not take anything that's being locked in them by managing or some people with power on that side. And I do believe that how the idol system is in Japan is maybe a system that really doesn't work anymore. As I'm just my feeling, because when I first started becoming an idol fan, and you see all this happy stuff, but more and more as the years go over, you hear about these stories. You've witnessed them firsthand, Derek, and it's like, is this still an okay thing to have?
Well, I think there's certain levels of idol management that aren't okay anymore. But a lot of those have been. I don't think they're as present as people think. Like again, it's hard because like there's so many different tiers of idols, so many, and so if you go on the very base level, the independent idols, yeah, they're obviously the most free, but they're not necessarily the most successful because they have to be their own marketer. Versus you get an agency who does all the marketing, you can focus on just being an idol, which is much more free in the sense you can be more creative, but you're only as creative as what that producer gives you to create. Here's a song, here's a dance, now you have to learn it. And so the trade-off is, if you don't want to think about this stuff, you just want to be on stage, you want people to love you and pay attention to you, that's wonderful. So it serves different idols in different ways. I would say, make no mistake about it, the idols run the show. It's these groups, these managers, in many cases, they don't run it. Mary Beth N is a good example. Like, we have a very good system. We have a manager, we have a producer, we have me. All of us have equal say. All of us make decisions. I make a lot of decisions for the group now. But the girls have to approve everything. Like, we don't get to make a decision for them. And so if they don't like it, they won't do it. It doesn't matter how much me, Daisuke, and Genji, we want them to do it. They're not going to do it. So they're very strong. But there are other girls, they don't mind being told. They're like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. And then there's girls that are afraid to speak out. And the ones that are in those agencies, yes, those agencies are outdated because they shouldn't treat their girls like that. But then again, when you get bigger and bigger and bigger up on the idol ladder, that it becomes more and more tighter, that grip, because you're a product. Like, you take even some of the Chica groups that are now, like, huge, like Bish and Biss. I can't speak for how Watanabe, who runs WAC, who owns them, basically, I can't speak for how he treats them. But, he started out, WAC with Biss many years ago. And one of the very first things he did was, put the girls in Aoki Gahara Jukai forest and have them run around naked for an MV, the Forest of Death, because he wanted to shock people. And the girls just did it because it was like, oh, yeah, we're going to be shocking. But then eventually they all quit because he just kept pushing them. And it just got too much. But then new girls came that were like, I'll do what they didn't, because I want to be famous, because I want to do it more. So in a way, it weeds out the weak. And so in those agencies, it works better. But the thing is, the trade-off is, you're huge, you're famous, you have a salary.
Out the weak.
The weak in the sense that, like, you maybe that's the wrong phrase.
Yes.
It's more like it weeds out those who maybe want to preserve their sanity.
It's more like, I wouldn't say if you there's a lot of stature, and you need to have some self. I wouldn't say pride. It's not the right word. I'm trying to find the right word for it. It's more like self-intuition from, is this okay? Is this a thing that should I go through with this? What they are asking me for, is that actually what I want? Is this the sacrifice that is okay for that? and saying no is not a bad thing. And for
Oh, of course.
them saying, well, I'm not gonna do this, and then you have someone else doing that. Um, yeah, it's still like, okay, they are willing to sacrifice that to, I don't know, maybe be humiliated or being tied down or being stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that's still okay. That's still in the society. I don't think this should be someone have that power, because that's the grip you're talking about. Then someone has power over you. It's like you signed a contract. You have to do this now, otherwise you'll breach the contract. We'll sue you. We'll take
Right.
you everything. And then someone gets fear, and you don't want to be in that. So I'm glad that there are people that are speaking out. It's like, you know what, you don't have power actually. But it shouldn't be
Mhm.
like then the other one that's now thinking they have more power. It should be equal. It should, like you said, everybody should be equal at a point, since you're all in this together. There shouldn't be someone higher saying, if you don't want to do this, then I will threaten to do this with you, or do this with
Right.
you. That is outdated to me. That should be like, um, hey, we have something for you. You've signed a contract. If you don't want to do this, then we have to let you go. That's an idea, but they shouldn't be like misusing that power. There should be a balance in there. Of course, there should be still people who are bosses and their employees, but there shouldn't be like, um, hey, I'm your boss. You have to do what I say, and you lose your dignity.
I mean, it's more to me. It's like this. It's like, so you take Hello Project, who had like Morning Musume and everything, right?
Mhm.
And they're still Hello Project's still going pretty decently strong here in Japan. And you're a young girl, and you grew up on Morning Musume and all these groups, and then you finally have a chance to audition, and you get accepted. You don't want to challenge. You're Kenkyusei, and you will always feel like Kenkyusei until you are senpai at some point. When that happens, takes years in most cases. And so in that time process of growing, you learn to not say anything. You learn to just go with it, because if you say something, there's 400 other girls that want to take your place. And so that kind of pressure, the management company doesn't need to say anything. It's just like, we're going to tell you what to do, and you could say no, bye. There's another girl that'll do it. So that pressure is built in. But to be fair, it's more of a responsibility of those producers to find more better the girls that fit that won't say no. So I think, and when I say no, I'm not talking like they have to do crazy stuff. I'm talking like just in general, like just being an idol. In some of these cases, is a 24-hour job, and so you have to really be able to put yourself through that. And there are girls that can do it, and there are girls that can't. I think it's more the responsibility of these agencies and these companies to find girls that can do it, and when they fail at that, I think there's more of a fault for them. I think they're actually more hurt than the girls that quit, because it's like, we spent all this time investing our resources and our products. We were putting you in. Now you've left. We failed you. So there is that kind of thinking a lot on a lot of these big agencies, because they lose money, because those girls are products. I mean, I'm not trying to make them sound like it's that harsh, but these girls are products. They are selling a product, but most of the girls understand that, because when they go independent, they do the same thing. They realize, oh, I'm a product. I have to sell myself. So they get kind of a crash course when they go independent, that they have to sell whatever it is they're trying to sell. And so that's sort of the business here. But I'm also saying, from what I've seen on the ground level, it's cool. It's chill. Everyone's cool. Everyone knows the game. But that's also why a lot of these girls leave suddenly, because they realize, I don't like the game anymore. I'm done. And that's cool. Like it's shocking, and it's very disappointing to a lot of their fans in some cases, and some fans will never be okay with that. But that's whatever. They have to get over it. And then the good thing about Idol, there's millions and millions of people that want to be idols, and there's what, 10,000 idols just in Tokyo alone. Like, if you lose an Oshi, you got 9,999 other girls that you can go to the next girl and become an Oshi if you want. So it's, how do I put it? Last thing I'll say about this is, like, I feel like it's not an outdated system. I just feel like certain people in the system, yeah, they can go. I don't need the strong old senior exec old guy. Like, I'll give a good example. Is like, there's a group that I really want to work with. I love them. and they are wonderful, and their staff is great, and the girls know me, and they're cool. Can't work with them. You know why? Because their guy, he's this older guy. He doesn't like foreigners. So guess who doesn't? I can't work with him because he's coming from this like real old school, World War II Americans are still horrible mentality, which does exist here, and so like just for that reason alone, they're like, we can't even get you to have a meeting with this guy. He won't even talk to you. So there's that kind of people. Yeah, I don't need you because this group is now not able to advance maybe on the foreign market that I can help them because of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. But then I also look at another company I'm trying to work with that I had a meeting with recently, and their producer, he actually produces several groups, but his main group, he is ultra protective of. Now, he has a good reason to be because of this group and who they are and everything, and I totally get it. But he knows me. He's known me for like 4 years. I mean, I've talked with him. He knows me. Necroma's played with this group, so I've seen him several times. He still has an issue. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. And it's like, why? Like, you want... Because they contacted me to have it... to sit down. And they're like, we want to reach out to foreign fans. We realize we're not doing a good job. Because now that everybody's online, they're realizing there's all these foreigners that want to be part of the idol experience. And all these groups are suddenly realizing that. So they contacted me. They're like, we don't know how to do it. And so I started going through it. And then even after all that, they're like, okay, maybe we'll talk to you in July about it. Like, maybe we'll give you a call. Like, come on, dude. Like, you know me. So those type of people, it comes from this, like, weird protectiveness. Because, again, looking at your group and they're your income, you don't want anything to mess with that income. So you might have certain expectations, both of the girls, their staff, fans, all that if that expectation gets not met, there's issues, there's problems, because at the end of the day, you'll lose money as a result. This is a business. People forget that. Sorry, that was a really long answer.
No, that's okay. Okay. Let's see. Would we like to talk about some new things that came out?
Sure.
Go ahead, Colin.
Well, first thing in the notes, NMB released their 23rd single. I think it was like a month or two or so ago. With a double center. Let me see when it was released. The double center, which made me quite happy. 12th of April. Hey. Which is, I know that's your birthday. Also happens to be a birthday of someone I love. So, family member, not making. Don't think any weird things.
Oh.
And yeah, double center. What's her name again? I'm terrible. But MV itself, it's fine. I kind of like it. Its song is Date Date Date, kind of catchy.
But
I do remember it. Yeah, it's Date. Yeah, I know. It's I like it. It's fine. It's cute.
What's the MV like? What's the MV style like? Is there?
Yeah, the funny thing about it is that it's not really a regular MV in the sense that when you think of an MV, you think of at certain intervals, the girls are dancing to the choreography. Doesn't happen in this video except until the ending. So it's pretty much more story focused in that regard. It's kind of weird. I was like, when are they dancing? They're not dancing. But it's like only towards the end. And it's a nice MV. It's cool MV. What the story is, the centers are, I think, working on something, and there's this guy involved that they haven't interested in. I think that the lyrics probably make more sense out of that, but I don't really look at lyrics. That's not really something that I find that interesting. With the meaning behind it, that is. It feels nice. I can see. Yeah, this is. Yeah, nice. I don't have a better word for it.
Okay.
I like it, but I don't love it.
Oh, I see.
Okay, awesome.
Well, I've only seen one MV that I want to talk about, and that was the AKB48 COVID-19 special message song, basically.
Ah, yes.
And
Which?
I've only heard snippets about it. So
this song is basically indeed from saying, let's hold on together and we'll make it through. And you see the MV is basically all individual members going through their lives, and you see them wearing masks. That's the idea. It's like wearing masks, and then they find the moments where they can take off the mask and just be like, that feeling. The beauty of this, though, is they reach out to past members, so you get the usual top member crew. You can see Takamina, you can see Oshima Yuko, Shunda Mariko, you can see Sashihara in there, you can see Maida Atsuko is there for a bit, and Tomochin is in there. And I love that.
Mariko's dog.
Yeah. I love. She didn't bring her out her child, maybe for a reason.
I was really.
It's a bit early for that. It's a bit.
I don't think fans can handle that. And Matsuyu
she gave birth in the 3 months that we were away. So congrats to her. By the way,
lots happened.
Awesome.
A lot of marriages, lots of retirements, a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
Well, Matsuyu Junior was also one of the people who was like a past member. So I don't know what the situation is, because she is graduated, but also not graduated.
Same with Minigishi Minami.
And same with Shirai Shimai, and same with Tetsuji. It's like all these top people from their individual groups, they have graduated, but since they have no graduation concert yet.
Not formally yet.
Yeah.
Not formally.
It's like, whatever. Well, I like the song. It's very inspiring just to listen to, and very nice to hear, like saying, hey, yeah, times are tough. But let's hold on. And you see nice clips of, like a few, maybe last week? I think last week. They performed in the theater for the first time, and it was only Okada Nana and Mukai Chimiyo. You see those performance in there. You see with Ogi Yui and who was the other member that I saw?
Yokoyama Yui and Miyazaki Mio.
Yeah.
But with Ogura Yui, I can't remember.
It should be Yamauchi Mizuki?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think so, yeah. But you see them performing in there. And that's basically the status to me, because they were so close, Japan, to being open again. They announced it like on 15th of June, we're gonna open the theater again to let people in. And then 1 week before, it got snippet out there because they spiked up again during the situation. So they canceled all the events. And this song is basically saying, hey, we're gonna hold on. It's not like the official song single yet, so there's no Senbatsu or anything. Although I did get the feeling that Ogi Yui is the center in there, because they end on her till that.
I think it's more like a song like Dareka no Tameni, something like that, you know?
Something like that, I would say. It was fun to see. Good to see them a little bit more active. But looking at the future, they really are focused on YouTube right now, since they have no other situation. They perform at home. You had these series of people performing older songs. Like, remember the Nishinomiki dance segments on AKB48 show? They do that. So you have certain members perform. The one with Taniguchi Megu is very good. I would recommend that if you haven't seen that one.
Yep.
But basically, it's like the future is so, to me, seeing it very negatively, looks very grim for what AKB48 was. And I don't know if they can climb back. I hope they do. But it's a series of unfortunate events, and then to top it off, there's COVID-19. So it's like this perfect storm of all series of bad events, not having anything to go anymore. They were invited to, was it CDTV, I think? They performed a few songs there with empty crowd. But again, it's like they are losing their name, and it's going further and further apart, and that's why it's so hard during these times, I would say. So this is all what happened with one song. All these thoughts came up.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They weren't not in a good position before COVID even happened. They tried getting back into it, but then COVID happened, and then they adapted. Still, I feel like they've been doing a lot on YouTube, choreography videos from previous songs, which are very fun. I like them. Or where they have Zoom meetings. Terrible app, by
Zoom
the way.
meeting, yeah.
Oh, it's so cringy. But they try their best. Even doing theater. That was initially, I think, in April, where they were doing Zoom theater performances at home. Kind of worked. You got something. They've at least been trying to do stuff more so in the now during COVID than it was before it. So I hope, and which I said before, that I hope that they are trying with what they have available to really get more active in the game. But for that to really happen, I think that COVID needs to end. But when that happens, who knows? I think they're trying to stay afloat, but competently, more so than they have been, say, last year. At least that's what I think. I think they're trying more so than they have done before.
They're not giving up, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I can add to that. So like Daisuke being a songwriter for AKB, I heard a potential upcoming single for AKB. He always lets me hear like all their stuff, which is great. And the song he's working on, I'm telling you guys, if it goes actually to become a single, there is a hook and a half in that song. Like the moment I heard it, I got goosebumps. It's like almost Koisuro fortune cookie level of a hook. And I'm like, oh my god, Daisuke, like if they don't pick this, like they're stupid, because like it's really good. The rest of the song, he's still trying to figure it out. I was actually giving him suggestions. He was listening, so I actually might be influencing an AKB song, which is like a dream come true. But I don't need to influence the hook. It's there. So I'm telling you, musically, good things could be on the horizon for them. As far as the company itself, yeah, they're all of AKB as a whole is going down the tubes. Because of COVID, because it's just no handshakes, no idol lives. It's all hard. I mean, SKE just announced that they're going to do like a blending of like, I think, actual handshakes and stuff. But the thing is like I said, the idol experience, it's moved online now. So it's like you're either going to make or break in that sense. But you take this corporation that existed on live appearances and events, and you just get rid of all those events. What are you going to do? And then on top of that, venues in Japan closing. There's some iconic Japanese idol venues. They're gone now. And that's also been an issue when you're trying to pay rent on a theater that you aren't getting any ticket money with. Like, how do you do that? You can't do it for that long. So the interesting thing here in Japan is there's not necessarily a law that says these groups can't have performances. But there's a shame factor here. Like, if you do it, they're like, oh, you're not paying attention to the government. But this last I checked, there's no law that says you can't. And so I know there's a lot of fans that right now would probably go. And the reason why I say this is because 2 weeks ago, I went to a concert in Akihabara, the only idol live I've been to in 2 months, outside of Marry a Bad End and the one I'm going to on Thursday. And it was in Akiba Colors, which is about the size of my apartment. It's so tiny in there. They were capping it at 60 people. About 100 people were stuffed in there. Okay, nobody cared. And then I mean, everybody had masks. One guy was in a full biological chemical suit with like a chemical like. He was awesome.
Oh my god.
They were lifting him. The girls that it was for Imomomo. They did a show Imomomo times 7. He saw to Imomomo 7. There's 7 girls. Although there was only 6 that night because one of them was sick. They had like a plastic screen in front of the stage, which is pretty much not even a stage. It's just like a raised platform with some bars in front of it. But they had like police tape. I mean, 2 seconds of that live showing. It was like this massive explosion of otakudom. The whole thing came down. All the police tape came down. But the funny thing was, the fans were lifting. They were going crazy. The girls on the stage had squirt guns full of like alcohol, like like
sanitizer.
They were like shooting at everybody while they were on the banners, and like everybody was like making sure everybody was okay. Everybody was taking breaks, cleaning each other. Every song. So
Wow.
it was hysterical, but it was so packed in there, and it was so much fun, and everybody had a great time that I guarantee if AKB opened up the theaters, it would be sold out. It wouldn't even matter. Like, it wouldn't matter. But for some reason, the shame factor here in Japan is so high, nobody wants to do it. And everybody's so scared of catching COVID here. When, if you believe the government reports here, I don't know, there's like 30-something people caught it like last week, and that's it. Out of an area of what, there's 36 million people in the Tokyo area. 34 people. I don't think it's an issue. But that's you believe the reports.
In Netherlands, we get around 100 new reports daily.
Wow.
Yesterday we had, for the first time ever, 0 deaths, but today there were 5.
Good.
So it goes up and down in there, but yeah, I know what you're feeling, and a lot of people in the world are feeling the same thing, and they find it's been long enough. And to me, it's an old battle between economics and health organization. What do you prefer out of those two? Yeah,
right.
I would like both, but that's impossible.
Me too. I feel like Japan, though, like, now that everything's open up, everyone's they have weird social distancing rules here, where like you have to social distance in certain areas, but then it's like, why even have that when on the trains it is packed to the gills? Like, the trains run everywhere in Japan. Social distancing doesn't matter here when every single person gets on the train for the most part. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's car culture here too, but it's like the majority of people ride the trains everywhere. So what do you really, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, everybody wears masks. Everybody's super health conscious here. You can't go outside. If you don't wear a mask outside, you're ashamed. People will give you they'll look at you like, ugh, like no joke. So everybody, even me, I hate wearing masks. I hate it. I hate it. Even I wear masks every day because I don't want to get, well, the idol groups and their managers and producers basically have told me, like, wear a mask or don't show up, because we don't want you to, like, infect our girls. Because again, I'm a foreigner, so of course I have COVID.
I have to wear them too, and they're 8 layers, so they're very heavy on the side.
Yours is 8 layers.
Yeah, we have that, but we also have a 5 layers one that is available for use, so it's different than that. But I once wore it, and I was going home, and I still was wearing it.
Yeah.
Because I was going to the tram to, we have to now wear it as well in public transportation. And I was walking past this older gentleman who was with his family, and he saw me with my mask, and he started laughing, just like, ooh, like that.
Really?
Yeah, but the thing is, and other people were seeing that, and they started like, what the hell is your problem? It's like, you're laughing because he has a mask? And that's the level is still astounding to me. That's like, yes, if you wear a mask, sure, but don't then insult the person who is wearing the mask. If they're doing it for themselves or doing it for others. If you don't want to wear a mask, okay, fine, that's also your opinion. That's a free country on that. But if it's requirements for rules, then wear it, I would say.
And wear it. Yeah, I totally agree. And here in Japan, it's not an issue. Everybody wears it. Everybody. But it's
doing
also
it for years.
Yeah, they've been doing it forever. So it's like, it's easy culture for them to adapt. And it's like, okay, no problem. We'll just wear them now. But the problem here is that it's very contradictory in how they behave with everything else. And so that's a little bit of the issue. But then again, I'm telling you, if the live houses open up, like, it wouldn't be an issue. Now they're trying to impose crappy rules about the lives. For example, everyone has to stand certain feet apart. You're not allowed to sing or clap. You have to, like, you can't chant, you can't do mixes. Like, there goes the idol experience. Like, it's like, there's no point. I mean, but no one's paying attention to that in the idol world. Like, at least the one show I went to, nobody cared. It's like, it was absolute insanity. Just everybody lost their minds because it was like 2 months of not having an idol live, and everybody's like, nope, we don't care. But it was one of the most funnest things I've ever experienced because of that. Everybody was, like, literally in tears because they just needed that outlet.
Yep,
you know,
I understand
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I can understand. I can relate to that. Yep.
Can you? Yeah. So
hopefully we'll just get in there soon. They're changing some rules starting 1st of July here in the Netherlands. Hopefully the rest of the world will happen
10 days
as well.
left. Yeah, about 8 days left, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see what has that. We've been already going for an hour. Is there something else
Wow.
we really want to talk about before we end this one?
Watanabe Mayu.
Yeah,
Yes.
how did they mention that?
That's good then. Let's talk about that.
Let's do.
So, go, Derek. You want to go ahead?
No,
Yeah.
please. No, please, Robin, please go.
No, it's very simple actually, and
Yeah,
it with Watanabe Mayu, it's been always weird
Yeah.
about her
Yeah.
and personal life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she announced now that she will be retiring from the entertainment business.
Yep.
There's no clear reason why, although you can suspect what the reason is.
Mhm.
And again, she was always the person that's like very. That's why she was the cyborg idol, because it was like you cannot get a read on her, on what she's thinking, what she wants to. But yeah, she will be now out of entertainment business. Probably wants to start a family. Maybe already is. You know, she was next in line from the predictions. Hey, who's gonna have a kid?
Yeah.
Enjoy life. It's sad because she's a character. I always loved her on Utage being in there. So wonder what's gonna happen with that. Who's gonna be the co-host? Um, she doesn't have any more interest. I think she made enough money, saved enough money, earned enough, I would say, to just have a
Yeah.
happy life. Maybe she'll
Right.
just
Hopefully.
becomes a housewife, and her husband or father of her child. Who knows what will happen? I do think we will still get some news snippets because you know how paparazzi works. They
Yeah.
will find out about anything, especially in this now day and age. And maybe in entertainment business, never say never. Who knows? Maybe over 10 years, she's doing a comeback. We had that with Watanabe Miki as well. She was like gone, and
Oh,
it's like suddenly she's now doing videos again that are very, very
And boy, are they amazing.
well received.
That's all I'm gonna say.
But what are your guys'
Boy, are they
thoughts about her retiring, basically?
Hmm.
To be quite honest, yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, to be quite honest, it was a bit of a shock actually. It's more like she disappeared from the radar
Oh yeah.
pretty much immediately after their graduation. And then I did my own thing, and then I saw this news bulletin pop up on my screen. It's like, what did my retire? It's like, whoa, what? I thought she already retired, but then it was basically formal because she, in the entertainment wise, she didn't do much after her graduation from AKB. So it's more like, okay. And then I just went on with my life because basically she was already gone. It's just a confirmation at this moment. So
Yeah, the weird thing with Watanabe Mayu is like I think there was nothing heard about her this year. Like she's been silent for 6 months, and then the 1st of June, she came out of silentness and was like, "I'm retiring," and she said that, and she was gone in hours. Very weird. Like I on one hand, I expected it because you didn't hear a thing from her. She did a bit after graduation. I remember a stage play, but and a commercial. I was remembering that last week. But other than that, I can't remember anything particular with her. But it's like, yeah, she's gone. What happened? There have been rumors, talks, about what happened because yeah, there was something, either the anniversary of her debut or her birthday, where people were like, usually she would say something, but now she didn't. So people were like, something must have happened. So I'm sad. I think she was great. I think she was absolutely great. Always very professional. Very fun. I think she just struggled a bit with what she wanted to do and wanted to be. But it's still sad, but I'm happy for her in a way. I hope that she finds her own happiness. Whatever happens, of course, I like to know why, because I'm someone I like knowing that. Give me one reason. If it's because she was done,
Closure.
Okay, reason enough. That's fine. Yeah, closure. So it's a bit sad, but I hope she's happy. However, she, whatever her status now is, if she's with someone or whatever, I hope she's well. I hope she's doing, well for herself, and that she's happy. That's all I can hope. Maybe we hear something from her. Maybe we won't. it's a pity, but not that surprising. I wish her the best.
Cool. And Derek, any thoughts?
Yes. So let me ask you guys a question. In AKB Sosenkyo, who are the winners? Who have been first place in the history of Sosenkyo? Who are they?
Achan, Mayu, Sashi, Yuko, Jurina.
That's it, right? The 5. So Mayu is a very rare creature in the sense that she didn't get married and have a baby. What's Yuko doing right now?
She attended the wedding of Akimoto Saika.
Yeah. That's true.
But Yuko's still present, right? She's still in entertainment.
She's acting, and she does occasional commercials. And she just did that YouTube video that you saw with Noro.
Kayo, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which was
and she did a live stream on Instagram the other day. I think she's been traveling last year to places, learned English. That's pretty decent.
Her Instagram live are hard to watch because it's always filled with too many people, and then her stream just doesn't load, and it's like
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. So my point with that was that like Yuko's still very active. She's still in everyone's faces. Sashi, you can't escape her.
That's true.
Nope.
Drina, Drina, I'm not even gonna put anything out there because, like you said, she's in that weird limbo state. So that leaves Mayuyu. So Mayuyu vanished. She just was gone. That's always not a good sign in Idol when it comes to people on this level of fame. I can understand if it was some, Kenkisei member that was in AKB for all of 35 seconds, or if it was like some low tier member, and I mean that with all love in my heart, but like somebody who wasn't Yuko or wasn't Achan, and they leave and they choose to live a quiet life. Mayu didn't say that. She didn't come out necessarily and be like, yo, I'm off the grid now, see y'all later. And like, I want to have my privacy, please respect it. She didn't say nothing. That's always not good. And so here in Japan, massive worry. In the idol industry, and even among the underground, I heard quite a bit. Like, she got hurt, got very sick, boyfriend problems, various rumors, like you said, Colin, were just flying around because people kind of forgot about her for a while because, again, the idol culture moves so fast. There's so many idols to pay attention to. Nobody was necessarily like in too much heap about it, but then the months started going by. Then everybody kind of got sidetracked with COVID, and then all of a sudden we get this message from her, and it's like, yeah, I'm out, peace. And again, nothing. This is a girl who wanted to be in entertainment. She wanted to keep going. Like, that's by all practical things she said, unless she was being a total liar, which I don't think Mayu was. She wanted this life, and she easily could have. Like, her drama she did with the library, the book drama was amazing. I thought she was wonderful in that. She was meant for entertainment. She is an entertainment person through and through. Like you said, she's always been professional, gone. So I think the jury's still out as to what exactly happened. She's keeping a low profile. I'm wondering, I don't think she got pregnant. I mean, I think we would have heard about it. You can't, paparazzi would have found that out. I don't know. Like, it's just, there's something up with that. It's a very sad mark in an already sad history of AKB that you have this beloved girl who was so beloved. She beat out so many of the top names in AKB to be one of the only 5 queens, and she's gone. So it's much more impactful than I think people realize that this happened. But now, I mean, as of right now, I think everybody cares. Like, again, Idol moves so fast. So it was, I don't think anybody gives a crap now. But I think her fan base, they're up in arms, man. And I'm talking about here in Japan. I mean, I'm still hearing stuff about that. So it's interesting. A lot of the Idol were Mayuyu fans, and they're just like, what happened? They're dying to know, just like we are.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get our curse in effect again, and we'll hear about it.
Oh, I would actually like that.
That would make it complete. That would make this return complete, actually. Yeah.
And tomorrow there's like some kind of like major announcement. I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
That would be indeed fun. Yeah, but you say it. It's like here today, gone today. That's you're saying, of course, Derek. So it's interesting. We'll see. That's all I can say. Is like if
We'll
they
see.
live a happy life, then more power to
Good.
them. Okay, then yes,
I
Colin.
got still 2 things.
Two more things.
That I feel that I want to bring up.
Okay.
Though I probably one will be short. HKT's new single,
Oh.
after 13 months, I think. Pretty sure they released a new single. Any of you watched it?
Not
3
yet.
minus 2.
Not yet.
I feel bad for the fans because, well, first off, they had to wait like 30 months. I think that's the thing with HKT. They release like 1 song per year.
Mhm.
And it was a fun Sambatsu. Like, members returned. Kojuna Yui got back. That was very fun. Different kind of center. I think this is so boring. Maybe people
Oh.
like it. It was, if I was a HKT fan and had to, diehard fan, and I had to wait like 30 months for the first single after Sashi left. Wow, that's not good.
Oh.
But maybe people like it. I haven't heard people talk about it. Like NMBs, I have, but the HKT one, I'm like, I don't know. People like it? Tell me. I don't know. I found it to be overall boring and underwhelming. But even forgetting if it's been like 30 months in and of itself, not really interesting to me. It's maybe people will like it, but it's not. It's forgettable, in my opinion. But maybe people will be like, I like it. I'm happy that it's finally been released.
Cool.
So
and
that's one thing.
The other?
BNK Sasenkyo, the second one, I do want to bring that up because that was
Right.
something I was looking forward to a lot, because the first one was awesome, and I really hope that the second one would be equally, if not more, awesome. Yeah, it became a Zoom meeting. It got postponed, and it became a Zoom meeting. They tried. They had like live hosts, still somewhere in a studio-ish kind of thing. They did great. Like, I liked them. The guy was great. Lady was also great, but the guy, something about him, I really enjoyed. And I'm not gonna talk about the whole thing because it's too long, and we kind of want to get back in the groove. And,
Yeah, running out of time as well.
Yeah, running time. So in quite a big surprise, there are a few surprises here and there, but I'm keeping it simple with 2 things. One, Jane won, who was like 5th last year. She
Okay.
won with
Wow.
more than 100,000 votes,
Oh, nice.
with like roughly 29,000 votes more than number 2, which was Chaprong, who dipped 1 place. Still good, but yeah, Jane won. I'm not surprised. Like, I've known that, I've heard about her fan base, that they are real diehards. Like, there were many people like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, it's Jane. Yeah, they wanted revenge. So happy for her. Like, loved your prank. If she had won, she didn't want to win. But that's at least the feeling that I got.
Yeah,
But
she didn't
you
even
gotta
want
do
to
it because
participate at
contract.
first, but she was forced.
Yeah, but it's good that someone else won. Like, I'm very happy, and no clue what the new single will be, but I am very happy. Pun also got redeemed, like she became 4th, and there were some interesting bits here and there. But let's move on. CGM did pretty well. I will say that.
Well,
They
maybe
did
we
the
can
best they
talk.
could with the event.
We can talk more in detail in the next time we do a recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I'm happy that Jane won. I was very, very excited that it was someone else, someone I didn't suspect initially. Like, I had my own top 5. She was not in it, even though I think she's great. But it's good. Like, I'm very happy with the outcome, and I can't wait to see what will happen next.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. 100,000 votes. That's pretty awesome. Considering, one last thing that I will say with it, there are limited voting ballots. I do remember that. Like,
Wow.
it's not like AKB where you can buy. No, there's a limited amount. So that is pretty awesome.
Okay.
And that's it.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Anything else quick from Derek or from DX?
Good.
Not much at the moment. Oh.
Colin.
One member who we love. 2 things happened to her. Akigori, Akimoto Saika.
Yeah.
First off, she got married
Yes.
yesterday,
Congratulations.
which was awesome. Like, I saw the photo and I was like, oh, that's a cool artwork. What is it for? Oh, she got married.
Oh.
So awesome. Like,
I saw Misawa
for
Sai
her.
and Oshima Yuko attending the wedding, so they had a
Oh, yeah.
fun ceremony. So that's pretty good to see. Very cool.
and she has done a movie, an American movie called Assassin's End. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was thinking of the game. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it yet, but it's available for download. It's like a series, straight to DVD series. But she's in it. I have not seen it, but it's awesome.
Looks
that she's in it.
badass.
Yeah, she looks awesome. So
Cool.
I will see it by next time, and people who have seen it, let me know what you think about it, because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that she was able to do this. And that's it.
All right.
I'm done.
Cool. Sorry that we're going to rush things, but I'm running out of time. So I would say, hey, for all of you been watching, thank you very much. Who knows when the next one will be? Maybe another 2 months. We'll see what happens. But for that, thank you for watching this episode of 48 Talk, and we'll see you then next time. Bye, everybody.
People, we love you. We'll be back sometime. Happy to be back.